Hello, I'm Archibald Chesterfield III, and today I wanted to make a video on my very first Rolex watch. What was it? Why did I choose it? What were the key steps there? And basically, I was an 80s child. I graduated high school in 1989. This was sort of the yuppie area. Everyone wanted to be a yup. Oh! We wanted to be arrogant fuckers in designer suits, driving a BMW and telling people to fuck off. And this was the era. And I was reading American Psycho. Remember that Bret Easton Ellis book? American Psycho. And Patrick Bateman had a Rolex. He had a Rolex. He actually, in the book, he had a Rolex day date. In the movie, it wasn't a day date. It just lost it for me. I'm sorry. It just lost it for me. But he had a Rolex, and it didn't matter. It didn't really matter. It didn't really matter what type of Rolex it was. You just needed a Rolex. It was like a BMW 3 Series. It didn't matter which engine option you went for. You just needed a 3 Series. So I had my own business. I was selling computers, and I had a client who had a jewelry shop. Actually, a Nala Jewelers. There you go. I'll name him Nala Jewelers. Lovely guy. And he was a nice guy, really nice guy. And I said to him, "Can you get me a Rolex? I want a Rolex." And he was in a group, a jewelry group called not the Hourglass of Singapore, but there was another group called Hourglass. And one of the members in Hourglass was a Rolex dealer in Tasmania. So he said to me, "Don't worry, I can get you a Rolex. Get you a Rolex." And I said to him, "Cool, that's great." I said, "Please get me one." And his name was Neil. Neil, that's right. Neil. Neil's a good guy. I love Neil. And I said, "Look, just get me a Rolex. I want a Rolex. I don't know Rolex. I want a Rolex. I want a Rolex." I said, "I don't care what you get me. Just get me a men's Rolex." And I had the little Rolex catalog, the little one. And it was basically, I was thinking maybe I'd get an Air King. Maybe I'd get an Oyster Perpetual. I knew the Datejust was way out of my league. A Datejust was out of my league, and I kind of, I just said, get me a men's Rolex. I don't care, just get it cheap. And he rang me and said, "Yeah, I got it in for you." Oh, fantastic! How much? $1,500. Wow, fantastic, beautiful. This is what I wanted, a Rolex. $1,535. I put it on American Express. My green card, my American Express green card, I think it came to with merchant fees, $1,575. And he sold it to me at cost. I mean, I had to pay the fees because he'd done me a deal. And why did I choose it? People ask me, why did I choose it? What in-depth shit did I do to pick a Rolex Explorer 1? And it turned out it was an L serial number 1016. That was the last of the plastic Explorer 1s. And I saw it, and I was wrapped. I thought, wow, it's a Rolex. And the funny thing is, a little bit later, I had a look at some other Rolex, and I thought, oh, geez, I got the plastic glass one. It wasn't a sapphire crystal. I thought, oh, well, that's just how it goes. And can you imagine that? How's that for stupidity, hey? I wished I had this sapphire version. And so the 1016, I got the 1016, and it was actually what a fantastic choice. I mean, I look back on it now. That was luck. That was luck because it was luck because if I'd really thought about it, I probably would have gone for like the Air King or the Oyster Perpetual. The Explorer 1 just didn't, it wasn't on my radar. And it was a sports Rolex, but it was kind of a dress Rolex because it didn't have extra complications on it. It was just a, you know, hour, minute, second hand, no date, no other functions. And I was pretty wrapped with that there. And that's how it came, because I just said to Neil, get me the cheapest Rolex you can get. And there was no second-hand dealers that I knew. I didn't know you could get these things second-hand. I said, get me a Rolex. And that's how I got my 1016. And it's just luck. It's luck because I just asked him to get me the cheapest possible Rolex. And in all honesty there was no thought or why did I choose this model? I was just wanted the cheapest possible fucking Rolex. That's all I wanted. I couldn't afford much. And I was 18 when I got that Rolex. I couldn't afford, cheapest Rolex you can get me. I remember going into Hardy Brothers at the time. They wanted fucking 2.5 for the same fucking thing. They were just fucking gouging cunts. And yeah, so that was my story of getting a Rolex. And why did I choose that model? I just threw the cards up in the air and said, get me the cheapest possible Rolex. That was it. Turned out to be a 1016 Explorer 1. And that's really what started my love of watches, because many years later, that watch itself, I sold it for a massive profit, sold it for $7,500. And I thought, wow, you can buy something at $1,500, wear it for fucking 7 or so years, and sell it for $7,500. That is a cool thing. So that's probably what really got me into watches. It really got me into watches, and that's the rest, as they say, is history. So there you go. I'm ArchieLuxury. That's my story on my first ever Rolex.
We specialize here in pre-owned Rolex watches. Rolex watch is a very special timepiece, and we always do the servicing exactly as factory specifications. We buy a pre-owned piece and we put it into brand new condition. We have Rolex certified technicians working on that. We completely disassemble the piece. We adjust and polish and change every single part of the watch.
You have to have certified watchmakers that know what they're doing. If you have an expensive car, you're just not going to bring it to any mechanic that doesn't know what they're doing.
You spend $5,000, it's like if you put money in the safe deposit box. And 1 or 2 years from now, you will keep having your $5,000. We have to spend a lot of money to get all this equipment together, but makes me feel I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. It's not a question of money, it's my passion.
Jewelers on time, simply the best.